Hi Scorpio, welcome to your December 2019 General Tarot reading. It's Raina here. Oh, that's so interesting because I was just doing mid-month readings and I got I used a different deck. When I first drew those cards, I was thinking, oh, did I shuffle properly? But that was a whole different deck. I don't know if I got that for you though. Okay. So, the heart of the matter is the Knight of Pentacles. This may be, the first word that came to my mind is crunch time, where you're just like a busy little beaver, working away. Do they call it salting away their nuts? I mean, let me rephrase that. When you put away something for the winter. So you may be earning money. Perhaps you have a financial goal in mind, whether it's building up your savings or buying a new car, who knows, having a down payment for a house, but you're very determined, you're kind of focused on that, and you are in that groove of doing that, kind of that day-to-day thing. The Knight of Pentacles connects to Taurus, so if this is a love interest, perhaps it's that. In the past position, we have the Six of Cups. This is a soulmate card. And so if this is some lover's triangle, perhaps, I was thinking of that Mercury retrograde that was in your sign. Maybe you've heard from somebody from your past that has kind of popped in, perhaps in sometime in November, to kind of, hey, what's happening, or on Facebook or what have you. And it's like, kind of with the Knight of Pentacles, it's that contrast between the sentimental type of memory of what you and this other person had versus this person who may be a very decent individual, maybe not the most exciting person on the planet, but you count on this person, and this person is good to you. And perhaps they work, if the Knight of Pentacles is another person, they work very diligently, but you might feel like there's no spark, that it's just kind of like everything is about the finances, the house, the material possessions, and you are starved emotionally. And Scorpio is a sign that I can see being, in need of like an all-enveloping kind of like a romantic situation. But when I say romantic, it really isn't that type of like you read about in the books. This could be very ferocious. But it feels like, I don't know, like it's you're at one with this other individual. And if you don't feel that, I think that's the one thing about Scorpio where it's a little bit dangerous for you in relationships. If it's not so much just the novelty, like a Gemini or an Aries person, of the freshness of the situation. You are comfortable with being in, predictable long-term relationships, with somebody that you've been with. You don't have any problem with that. But if you do not feel like you feel something strongly for that person, if it's just pleasant or if it's kind of civil, that's going to feel cold, ice cold to you, and you're going to probably feel emotionally deprived from that situation. And it's interesting, the complementary signs, the signs that oppose each other, like Scorpio and Taurus, for instance, they do have things in common, but they're also like, the reason they're complementary is that one person provides what the other person doesn't have. And in the case of Taurus, it's providing Scorpio with more of a detached, emotional self-expression, rather than treating life as this thing that is so like intense and deep. It's like being more laid back. But you help Taurus become more feeling, and it doesn't have to be like overly emotional, but they say that water moistens the soil for the earth, and that means that the earth can grow things in it. Otherwise, the earth might be too dry, and so that means that lack of creativity, a lack of juice in life, where you're not just an automaton. The Knight of Pentacles can be somebody who's kind of like on automatic, and they're just too much into that material gain, and they're not seeing that life is multifaceted. The higher message is the Ace of Swords. This is about knowing thyself. I think also, to thy own self be true. Knowing what you need from a relationship, knowing what you need from life. If you, excuse me, if you've been kind of feeling bored with your work, and that, the Knight of Pentacles is you, and you're just kind of on this conveyor belt, you will realize that. And you're also, there's something about the past that is informing your feelings right now, Scorpio. So it could be that you've just been having dreams about doing, and I'm talking about even like literal dreams at night, where you're doing a certain thing and it was something that you always wanted to do. And it's just kind of like telling you that you have these other things that you need to fulfill yourself. And how do you do that? How do you make space for that? And you may feel like the clock is winding down in your life, that you won't have the opportunity to explore other avenues, that you've been so on this hamster wheel of a 9-to-5 job, this pursuit of the material, that the things of your heart, the Six of Cups, who knows, maybe this is even a soulmate type of relationship that you could not get involved with because you were too busy with work. Maybe you've met somebody that you think really embodies that, and you're like, how can I make space for it? What crosses you is the Eight of Wands. This is a card to me of like things starting to really take off, and that meaning that there's been a lot of what would you call it? Sorry, I'm plugging this in here. Maybe there's been a lot of holdups, and you feel like there is momentum that is about to be released, where you're pent up energy, and then everything will start. Now, some of this may have to do with the fact that the Mercury retrograde was in your sign, and as I'm recording this, Mercury hasn't gone direct, and I don't believe for the rest of November it may. Well, I'm trying to think of when it's going to come out of its shadow, but it's the point is that things may be delayed, and when you may be ready for this next chapter in your life, and you're just like, when is this going to happen? When is it going to happen? Well, you just had your solar return, and now you're experiencing the, Jupiter leaving your second house, going into your third house, blessing your communication sector. And who knows, maybe there are things along those lines that you want to explore in terms of like your dream career, and you just haven't had the opportunity to. Well, you probably will get that chance in, at some point, especially at the end of December when we have a solar eclipse in that third house. And once it gets going, just understand that. Once everything gets sorted out, then things can really take off. What's coming in is the Queen of Swords. So, we have the Ace of Swords, we have the Queen of Swords. You may be kind of trying to position yourself, Scorpio, to do something that you know that you need to do, but that your emotions are keeping you kind of stuck. And that's what I would say about the Eight of Wands. It feels like maybe stuck energy. So basically, this could be like a relationship that is stagnant, and that it's not going to change because you're just two different types of people. And you've come to that realization, but you have a hard time putting it into action, like what you're going to do. Leave the relationship, but how? And those are the kind of things that you're sorting out. If this is a change in career, where you're just tired of being a slave to the almighty dollar, you may say to yourself, I'm going to figure out a way, and using your logic, but not to the expense of what really matters to you. Because I feel like with the Six of Cups, this is something near and dear to your heart. And maybe it's something you've cherished for forever, as long as you can remember there was something you wanted to do, but life got in the way. And the outcome is a Temperance card. It's about balance, water and land, spirit and matter. Make 2020, make a resolution in December, Scorpio, that you are going to do something. I mean, it doesn't have to be like career-wise, but you are going to take initial steps to, even if it's as little as researching what it is that you want to do, whatever your desires are, that you're not going to put them on the back burner. With the Eight of Wands, something may have been put on the back burner. It's a burning desire of yours. And I feel like with the Temperance card, which is associated with Sagittarius, by the way, where you may experience this, desire, especially as a Scorpio, to go to one extreme or the other. So if you've been really just raking it in, making money, you may say, I'm going to go off to India and I'm going to, I'm going to live barefoot or whatever. Or I'm going to go off to some hippie commune or something. And not see that you don't have to do that. That you can live in the world but not of it. That's what I have for you, Scorpio. I hope that you have a great December. Check out my channel for my 2020 videos. I don't know exactly when I'm going to put them up, but I'm sure it'll be sometime soon. And if you'd like a look at your personal 2020, what's going to happen, I have natal chart interpretations that talk about the themes for the upcoming year based on your exact time of birth. The link to my website is in the description box. Take care. Bye.